Howdy and welcome back. We had done the brakes and I had issues with the brakes. They wouldn't seal. There we go. Just had to push the focus button. So this is our new bolt. So we got the lines replaced. We put just the factory lines in. They actually worked out great. But the bolt wasn't working. You guys can see this guy here is like a flange bolt. Well, what came with it, apologize for being such a disaster. What came with it was this guy. These are the ones that came with these braided stainless steel lines that I was warned not to use, and it is not a flanged bolt. We'll just use we'll just skip the light. So this wasn't a flanged bolt, but these copper washers came with the brake line, the new brake line kits, but they're a lot kind of wider. It just didn't want to seat at all. So after a couple days of trying to get this to work, you just see it's got a huge gap. It's just got a big gap at the bottom. They didn't want to seal. So after 2 days of playing games with that, I just got online and ordered the factory Corvette ones, which I don't even know. This might be, I don't know much about brakes, so that might be a factory style. I mean, maybe this just is what all of these take, because it looks similar to the brakes that were on the car originally, but I didn't take them off to experiment, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, and then what I did too is I cheated because I didn't want them to leak at all. And there is a sealant I used to use in my old Volkswagen days with air-cooled Volkswagens, this Aviation Permatex. This Aviation stuff, which is great because it's like a non-hardening sealant. So what it's meant to do is go on machine surfaces. So as you think of like a Volkswagen case, like an air-cooled case, it's a split case. It's basically like a Subaru engine before there were Subaru engines, in that where you split it, the crankshaft and the camshaft go, and those surfaces get no, there's no gasket that goes there. So what you do is you use the aviation gasket, and it's meant to go on a machine surface and just fill the voids, scratches, the pores, spots on the aluminum. And so I just put not even a coat. I just dabbed my finger on it, ran my finger over top of it, on the washers, on either side of the washers, and threw it in there. And what that would do is if there was any imperfections in the sealing surfaces, it would just kind of pull in there. And it's also good for well below freezing, all the way up to like 425 degrees Fahrenheit, which should be fine. So it's just what happens when you squeeze them. If there's any low spots in between the washers and the sealing faces, that stuff would just kind of fill that void and then be sealed off. So we should be good. But I don't know. We'll put some fluid in it, see what happens. I still got to mess with the transmission lines, so I'm about to do all that. We'll get it down. I might have a leak on this guy, so we'll check that guy as well. But let's get some fluid in there, see what happens. Hopefully no more leakies. Bobby, checking out those new wheels and tires. They're nice, huh? What do you think about that? Bah? You got hay all over your head. We got him a fresh bale of hay, and he'll just lay there next to his hay bale, just eating, just chomping away, huh, Bob? We got the brakes just gravity bled as for right now, and we'll wipe them down and hopefully not see any more brake fluid. I'm tired of seeing brake fluid. I've spent a whole bottle of brake fluid on this car already. Should we be bold and move on to the transmission, Bob? All right, on the transmission lines. Why not make a huge mess? And we got the first line out. Lickety split. A little bit of dribbles here and there. Let me see if I can get my Let's get Big Larry. Actually, I think this is Larry's boss. It's Larry's boss. Some serious shit. And what you can see is there's no drippies. That's a good thing. And over here, we got no drippies from the banjo bolt either. So it all looks good. A little bit of water. Nothing to worry about, so we can get those things bled and that'll be good. And then here we just grab the top hose off of the transmission. You can kind of see it up there, and just fed it through. I just do one at a time. I turned the pressure down to like 10 psi and blew a little bit of psi into the line to kind of push some of that fluid back into the transmission. So hopefully, so hopefully I don't lose as much, is my theory, which I don't know will work or not work. There's some transmission guy out there right now going crazy. And that's not how you do it. My apologies, sir. What is the PTFE versus AN? The PTFE is basically, it's a Teflon line, and on the inside of it, see how it's white? See that white stuff? That's Teflon. It's basically it's like plastic. It's like the stuff that you make your normal gas tank out of, and it's a little bit thinner than the normal AN hose. It has a higher burst pressure, and that makes it nice. So it's a little bit stronger than this stuff. It's also a lot easier to put together, but you do need some special tools to put it together. Not some special tools, you only need a special, well, yeah, maybe some. Now I have these bad boys, and I got them off of eBay. They're called All-Star Performance. I'm sure they all came from China and someone just stuck their sticker on it. That's how things work these days. Just like this line came from China. But I didn't stick my sticker on it, I just sell it. It's good stuff though. I like it better than the rubber stuff, and I'll only use it from now on. It's a little bit more expensive, but I like it. It works really good. It's really easy to work with, and it has less tendency to fail if done right. It seems like a lot of people do rubber hose wrong. I'll often get people saying, you know, I've done this a gajillion times, but you still ain't doing it right. The first thing you gotta do is just accept the fact that you're probably gonna bleed. But that goes, I think, with all AN lines. And this has just got a little tube that drops right down. You guys see that? It's got a little tube that just slides right into the plastic. This little olive that goes over here, goes over the plastic. And when you guys slide it in there, it makes a tight seal. And then this guy that caps it just reinforces that, and you don't need to kill these guys or bottom them out or anything. You just snug it down until you get a good bit of resistance, and then that is clamping together, providing the force. People tend to think that it's like a ferrule, like for your hard lines. If you ever done aluminum lines, it has like a brass ferrule inside that actually crushes onto the line, and it makes that seal. This is not the same concept. So you can remove that out of your mind. When you do cut it with this guy, this is why you need these fancy cutters, because it mushes it. See, it's like mushed, and that's what you want, because when it's mushed like that, you can get this guy on. If you take and try to use like a pair of, what are those called? Like a grinder. I know a lot of people like to cut the AN line with grinders. That's not gonna work. So it'll make it too hard to get this guy on, because this is the first step, is getting this guy over top. I don't want to bleed, so I'm gonna use that to make that happen. Okay. Whoop. Trying not to bleed. Trying to reduce the pain in my life. Okay, there we go. had a little bit too much electric tape on it. You only need one wrap of tape on this when you cut it. And if you put too much on it, this is kind of what happens here, is it just makes life a little bit more difficult on you to get the line through. Okay, so the line's through just like that. You'll see we got the base on there that's going to screw into. We got the tape on there. So what I'm going to do next is take the tape off. Ooh, I tried to have the garage door open, and it was kind of nice earlier. It had a nice little breeze going on, but ooh, our breeze left us. The breeze has left. Okay, so what I got now is you got the nylon, and then you got the steel braid on the inside, and you got the plastic. So what you're going to want to do is just take your fingers and just kind of pick back that steel braid. I'll show you. I'm going to use my gloves so I don't, again, trying to reduce the amount of bleeding that occurs during this process. All right, now you can see we got the stainless peeled back, and we're just going to put the olive right on top and go all the way until it bottoms out. Now once it's bottomed out, it's going to look kind of funky. You see it's kind of, you'll see it's like star shaped inside there. So what I'm going to do is use this guy, and I'll put it down at like a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to use the bevel. I'm going to use the little bevel that's on the end to spread it out. And as you push it in, you'll feel it. It's like ribbed for her pleasure. Okay, so that guy is in there, into the tube with the olive outside of the tube. So it's mill inside the tube and the olives around the tube, and we just want to make sure it's bottomed all the way out. Now we got the bush, right? Nobody likes a bush, so we gotta trim the bush. It is the biggest. No, the bush is the biggest. You guys know the Zohan? Okay. So once this guy catches on the threads, then just flip it up, throw it in the vise by the base. And then just snug it down. Don't kill it, just snug it down. Sometimes these guys just gotta be patient, but usually they work pretty easy. That's it. So, ta-da! Now we'll do the other end. Time to do the other end. And we'll have one done. Okay. One. And just blow it out, because you always blow out your lines. This thing's been dragging all over the floor. Blah, 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 blah. You guys know. You guys know. Don't be a hoe.
You can imagine.
Turn off this.
When the whole nation, the whole body politic, powering off.
Hey everybody. So we got some most everything done. Check this out, man. She got the wheels on the car. So excited about that. And the C5. Look at those discs. Oh, it's so good. My wife helped me bleed the brakes, and they seem to be working great. No more drippies. We got the guys around now. Let's do this side. It'll be easier to see, I think. Oh, it's always a battle with light. So there's that, and there, and it's nice and no drips. We replaced our lines with PTFE lines and ran them. And top tip, if you're going to leave the fitting loose and tell yourself that you're going to tighten in the morning, well, you should probably tighten it. Or while you're sitting there in your car idling for minutes, just take a second to peek outside and see if there's a waterfall of transmission fluid coming out. But I suspect it's probably no more than a quart. We got some extra because I figured, well, I didn't figure I'd do that because that's stupid, although that's not totally out of character. But yeah, so we got those lines in, and look at this. We got our suspension all done, our narrowed rear end, everything's good. So tomorrow the plan is I put transmission fluid in this guy. Hopefully our other leak, this pan here, will be nice and dry in the morning time. That's my hopes. The front apron will not be, because there's all kinds of transmission fluid there. But with these low car style, I'll say, these PTFE tubed dipsticks, they're almost impossible to read. But what I found is best to do is fill it up and then check it, and then walk away for an hour or two and start it back up and check it again. And by then all the crap is drained through the tube, and you might get a more accurate reading if you can read it, which they're just hard to see. But hey, lots of progress on this guy. We actually, and another thing was running real rough. I thought maybe that was the mouse, so I reloaded my tune into it, and as soon as I connected the laptop and it did this little sync thing or whatever it does, it was like automatically happier. You could just hear it like boom. So I don't know if the tune drifts, or maybe it's got some auto-correcting things on that I'm not aware of. But you know, I loaded the tune that Matt cleaned up for me a little bit, and it seems to be running fine. So I got a whole 5 gallons of E. So tomorrow we'll get this transmission stuff right, and we'll mop up our puddle over now, and this down there, and get it on the road and see how it drives. It should be interesting to see with the actual wheels and tires, like how it drives and how it looks. So we'll do that tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm just really happy about this point here. I mean, this point minus I need to go back and do the power steering pump with PTFE, because I still haven't done that, but that's small. And other than this, it's like do the air conditioning system and finish building the center console, and this will be good for a daily driver, and we'll be ready to drive it and put it up for sale. So if anybody wants a Pontiac Phoenix, then let me know. It will be going up on the eBays before too long, I imagine, because I love it, but I don't love it that much. I want to get started on the Volvo wagon. I really like the wagon. It's solid. This is nice though. This is a beautiful car. It's fun, and I love the tension you get when you're driving. So yeah, lots of talk, little to do. Man, those wheels look so good. Look at that, those brakes behind it. Oh, it looks so good. They're so perfect for this car. Same with this, just big brakes. It looks almost the same, but since they're 15s, you know, it's smaller, but it still looks big. It's just filling up the entire wheel with brake rotor, and that's what I like to see. That's my favorite. So yeah, we'll get this thing out on the road tomorrow. All right, so yeah, just back from the first drive. Monkey and Bell joined us with, but yeah, look how good this looks. I mean, these guys look so good. I don't know, it's hard to get this all in the picture. There we go. But it looks great. This is perfect. This is exactly what I was looking for. These wheels, unbelievable price. I think they're like 130 bucks each, and just a nice mix. I know most of you out there would probably want to lower it, but I'm perfectly happy. Being an old man, I appreciate all the extra ground clearance of these guys, and these Corvette brakes are good. I probably need to change out like some stuff like the booster, or maybe the proportioning valve, or the master cylinder for like a wider bore one. But when you do get on them, at first there was nothing there, but you know, they're new. So just drove around at, like, you know, highway speeds. Nothing crazy, because the transmission, I don't know if it's full or not. I got one of those low car dipsticks, and those things are atrocious, but this thing desperately needs to be cleaned off. You can just see the dirt it's on it. But yeah, it stayed nice and cool. The bigger tires picked up a few miles per hour highway speeds, so it's a little more in its happy range on the highway speeds than it was before with the smaller tires. And it rides smooth, so there was no noises. I mean, when you're driving, you're always keeping your ears out for any kind of oddities that might be going on, but I was specifically listening for the rear axle, and didn't really hear anything. Kind of got into it. These tires are slippery. I guess they need a little bit of heat in them, and it's not really all that hot of a day. I didn't ride them long enough to really get them warm, but as soon as we got in the throttle, the car got very sideways, and I wasn't really expecting it, and I'm a little out of practice for correcting my my steering angles. but we did all right. We just figured we'll creep on back into it. You know, when you build these big horsepower cars, and this is only 600 horsepower. I know everybody has 1,000 horsepower nowadays, but I would say, you know, it's probably a good thing to kind of creep into using all that power. Don't just go out there like who's that actor? I think like Hunt, something like that. The dude that just wrecked a Mopar, Barracuda. He gave it all the throttle, and he ended up on a ditch on his hood your first time out. I sound like dad. I'm dad teaching. That's okay. So anyway, yeah, really happy. No leaks other than some drippage where we dumped all that transmission fluid on the transmission cooler yesterday, which is totally my fault. And those tires look good, so I'm just like dying to get some 275s and see how they'll fit. I think we can pull it off. Some nice Mickey's drag radials, and I think that would be pretty good. It should be a lot of fun. It's the only way we're going to get this power to stick anyway. But great, this is going to be a fun daily driver. Get the air conditioning thing sorted out, and it'll be perfect. Man, look how good. I'm so happy. So happy to have my car back. Look how good those wheels look. They're the perfect match for this. I couldn't have stumbled on to anything better. And those big brakes behind it. Ooh, that's just the pièce de la résistance. All right, so that's it for now. Please be sure to go to the website, Monkey Fab Garage, monkeyfabgarage.com, monkeyfabgarage.com, and check out stuff. We got turbo stuff. I got new billet flanges, like the cheapest in town, the most affordable, I should say. They're high quality, super long transition from top to the bottom, so you're not gonna, you know, superheat the turbo. And yeah, super excited about those. Billet intercooler stubs, the billet beads, which make great to hook on. By the time I post this video, I'll have silicone, 4-ply silicone, reducers, couplers, bins, all that good stuff. So we add that to the collection as well. So go check out Monkey Fab Garage for all your fabrication needs. Pick up t-shirts, only 15 bucks. Until next time, this is Mike Monkey Fab signing out.